everyone, and welcome to the new episode of Entrepreneurship Lab. This is your host, Nevena Bajalac. I'm very excited to welcome you to the new episode. And as always, we're trying to give you as much value as possible, as much of information, tips, knowledge, action steps, so you can grow and scale your business. Today, I'm going to be the one talking, and we're going to cover something very, very important, and that is handling objections. How to handle objections. Now, please make sure before we continue to like this episode, subscribe to the podcast, download, and share it with one person that is building their business or growing their business so they can benefit as well. We appreciate you for doing that. Now, I talk about different topics in business, and definitely sales are one of the most important parts of your business. If you're not making sales, you're having a hobby, you're not actually having a business, you're not profitable. So nothing happens, there's a quote saying nothing happens until somebody sells something, right? And there was a different episode where I talk about overcoming negative beliefs around selling, which many people have. So it's very important for you to understand that sales are literally the engine of your business, and you need to invest in your skills, sales skills, and your sales teams, right? So a lot of people ask me, I'm an introvert, I'm shy, I hate selling, what should I do? And the truth is, maybe you can later on have a team and people that are really good at sales, but if you are a startup entrepreneur, I highly want to empower you to invest in yourself and learn how to sell. And nobody will believe in your product or service more than you do. Nobody will be more passionate than you can be, right? So your sales team can never be passionate about your product or service more than you are. And that's why I believe you should be the one who knows how to speak about your product and services, know how to sell them, and close the sales. Good news are that sales is a skill, which means as any other skill, riding a bike or swimming, right? You can develop these skills. Even if you don't know how to do it, even if you're really not good at sales, you can still learn how to sell and close sales. Now, interesting enough is when we do sales, right? It is expected that you're going to come across some objections. Objection means that somebody has something against purchasing it, right? They're not ready. They will say they don't have time. They will say it's too expensive. So objection is basically a reason for not buying. And for you, it's very important to learn how to deal with those objections, and this is exactly what we're going to be talking about today. Now, interesting enough, what I wanted to say is that most people, and especially startups, if you haven't had a good sales training, you go on a sales call or a presentation, you're promoting your product or your services, and you are not prepared to deal with an objection. And you have to understand that there's always going to be objection. So you need to literally prepare your script, prepare your answers, and go. So now you're equipped, right? You have to expect that there's going to be an objection. You have to expect and prepare for each objection that might give you. This is going to be my answer. This is the best I can. I will prepare. Of course, you never know how exactly the situation will go. But you need to prepare. Please do not go over there to deal with sales, to offer your product or service, and then you're like, oh no, they told me they have to speak with their husband, or oh no, they told me it's too expensive, or they don't have money, and I just said okay, and I left, right? You need to learn how to handle those objections. So today we're gonna talk about some standard objections, what they actually mean, and what you should do in your presentation, in your sales calls, to handle these objections. And this is going to be very beneficial for you, but I highly recommend, if you haven't had sales training, a proper sales training, if you don't have the answers to objections, if you really are not closing enough sales as you want, you need to invest in yourself and your team for a good and proper sales training. Myself and my team at Lake Consulting, we can definitely help you with that. We helped individuals, startups, medium-sized companies, and huge companies like Emaar here in UAE in growing and improving their sales. So we can definitely help you as well. Feel free to reach out and find out what kind of sales training, sales programs do we have and what's the best option for you. Okay, let's jump into some common objections. You will get the most common ones and what do they actually mean so you can understand the psychology behind an objection, right? First one, of course, people will say it's too expensive or it costs too much. Now, let me tell you, whenever somebody puts a thing about price, it simply means you haven't showed enough value. So nobody will question, right? If you have, I don't know, iPhone or a Mac computer and it's cost less than you usually believe it should cost, nobody will question. They will say, oh my God, this is so valuable and it's discounted, I'm buying it. Or they will wonder, maybe there is something wrong with a computer or a phone, why it's cheaper, right? But when people see value in something, they will never question why it costs this much, right? So the companies, for example, like Apple, they put so much value explaining how valuable their products are that people don't question why they cost that much. They see, oh wow, this new product is so valuable and of course we're gonna purchase it. They want to purchase it. Now remember, I talked about this in some other podcast episode. I always talk about this. People buy what they want, not what they need, right? So if you need a pair of shoes, nobody needs a brand new shoes that cost thousands of dollars. People buy them because they want them and they put specific value. This has a meaning for them. That's why they're buying them. They're not questioning the price because they really want it. So you need to see whenever there is an objection about money, you have to understand and reflect on yourself and say, I haven't shown this person, how will this bring them a return on investment? How is this valuable? And how will this, I don't know, benefit their life? You have to show them that this is super valuable. Now think about it. People spend money anyways. If your product is $50 or $5,000 or $50,000, people will spend that money somewhere else, right? I had people come to me and they say, oh, maybe this is too expensive. And then the next day they are traveling on a luxury vacation, right? So to me, it's always funny because I see that this is actually not a priority for them. And I always say it's never about money. Either this is not important or I haven't showed to them how valuable and necessary this is for them, in my case, and their business, right? So for you, how can you show and put a lot of value in your product? This is the first most common objection. Okay, another one is that people are sometimes worried that your product or your service won't work. And the thing you can do here is show social proof. Okay, social proof of how this worked for some other people, how did it help them, and actually that your methodology, if you have a service, for example, worked, and have some specific evidence. Have some stories ready. This is what I'm talking about. You need a proper sales training, because if you're coming on a sales call or a presentation and you're not ready to handle these objections, it means you just haven't been trained, and that can be easily resolved. So you need to have stories in your pocket to deal and handle these as well. Now, sometimes they worry it doesn't work. Sometimes they worry it doesn't work for them. And this is where you also can put some referrals and mention someone who has a similar journey or similar worries like them. For example, you say, my client, Bob, had the same worries and same question, and this is what he achieved, or this is what happened to him. So you want to have ready stories as a social proof when their worry doesn't work, and also if their worry doesn't work for them, have some referrals in your pocket and connected in your discussion conversation with your prospect. Okay, now often people don't just buy because they feel they can wait. There is no actually urgency. You haven't created urgency, so they understand why they need this product now. And this is where educational selling comes in place. You need to be an expert to educate people why is this necessary for them. If you're a fitness coach and somebody says, oh, but this is not my priority, working on my fitness right now, they're actually not educated in understanding that their health today, it's actually what their health tomorrow will be. You shouldn't wait to be overweight or, put extra pounds or, I don't know, like get sick and get ill to start working on your fitness. You should work on your fitness today, or eat healthy food, or take care of your skin. We know that taking care of, if you're in skin care products, for example, you should be taking care of your skin from your early 20s, because this is how you prevent the aging and prevent your skin. Not when you are in the 60s and you're like, oh, now I have wrinkles, I need surgeries and stuff. So you need to be an expert in your field and educate people. I always educate people and I say, look, today is the day, and really to invest in learning how to sell, learning about business strategy, marketing strategy, and not tomorrow. Because if you're not getting clients, or you're losing money in your company, you're not profitable, how many more days, weeks, and months you want to go without clients or without being profitable? So why are we waiting? You need to educate people for that. Another objection you might get is that seems your method or your product, your process, your systems, your servicing is very difficult for them. And this, again, you need to be an expert and educate them. Sometimes you need to simplify the process and show how this works, and show them there are steps so they don't feel overwhelmed. Because sometimes if people feel overwhelmed or people feel confused mind never buys. So you need to make sure that you educate them so they don't feel this is too difficult. Okay? And then there are some in objections. There's some unspoken objections, right? So sometimes you will see nonverbal communication, and people will be like, "Oh, okay," or they will not make a decision, but they will not say anything. You have to then ask more questions and let them talk more, so you get to the real objections. You get to the bottom line or real objections and see what is actually hiding behind this person, or what are they even thinking, right? So you need to allow in your conversations, you need to allow people to also talk more and speak more, so you can actually discover what is the real objection there. Because you cannot handle an objection if you don't even know what objection is. So that is very, very important. And then there's, of course, some excuses like no time. We all know that we have 24 hours, all of us, right? So you will always find time for something that's your priority. You will always find time for something that's important for you. So you need to ask your clients, is this important for you? And if it is, then of course you will find time, and we will help you. Our process is simple. So you have to see, is really the time, or there is some other objection there. Now, in excuses like this, you can always, first of all, first rule in handling with objection is that you have to agree with your prospect and your client and acknowledge and agree with their objections. You would say something like, that's a great point, and here is why you should buy, or here is why you should start this now, even when you feel you don't have time, or even you feel you're not sure because you are traveling or something. You need to really always agree with them, because if you are showing they're wrong, if they say it's too expensive and you say no, it's not, they're more expensive, you're arguing now and you're defensive, and you already built a wall and you lost the client. So you have to always put yourself in their shoes and put yourself in their shoes and really think like, yeah, from their perspective it might be expensive, but is this something they really want, or why they feel it's expensive? Maybe they don't understand how much value they will have. So always put yourself in the shoes of your prospect. Always agree with their objection and ask the right questions so you can discover the hidden objections, you get to the bottom line, and then ask the questions that are going to make them think and push them to make a decision. Now, in any sales call, you have to ask for the money. You have to give the menu. I always laugh. Just the other day, we were in the cafe with a group of entrepreneurs, and I said, guys, you have to change your mindset around sales. The the waitress here didn't came and felt uncomfortable giving us the menu and showing us how much things cost. There are different options. We choose which option we want. So when you're speaking with someone, they know you have product or a service. Of course, they understand there is certain price. So you need to give them the menu, give them your options, your packages, and then you have to ask them which one works the best for them. Which one do they prefer? You need to close the sale. Okay, you don't leave without closing the sale, because if you just give them the menu and you leave and you don't ask them what drink or what food do you want, then I would just sit there and then leave and not spend any money in a restaurant. Think about it. So they are asking you, here are the options, and here are the things, like which one would you like, and then we choose and then we pay, right? The same with you. You give your options, you ask them what they prefer, and then you should close the sale. Of course, there are objections in between, but now you have some further understanding how to handle those objections. And if you still feel you don't have the right scripts, answers, reach out to me and my team, and we're gonna definitely help you with that. Now, very, very important topic that we covered today, and you got a lot of value, and you have to understand that you need to always work on your sale, improving your sales. Now, there are different sales scenarios. In different industries, sales are completely different, cycles are completely different, B2C and B2B are completely different. So you will have to develop those skills constantly, but remember, investing in yourself is the best thing you can do, because by investing in yourself, you can never lose. You will always be able to grow. The better you become, the more you can sell, the better return on investment you have. And like I said at the beginning, you need to invest in yourself, even if you don't like selling, because nobody will sell your product or your service better than you will as a business owner, as someone who created the product or created the service and you truly believe in it. I am sure this is a lot of value. I am excited that you are here, that you're listening. Thank you so much. Once again, make sure to like this episode, download, subscribe to the podcast, and share with one person that can benefit and find this valuable. Now, click the link below and get my course on how you can get more clients organically without paying ads, and also download my ebook, Jumping into Unknown, which is an incredible ebook about entrepreneurship and what does it take to be an entrepreneur. This is it for today's episode. Thank you for listening. We'll see you in the next episode. And once again, thank you for being here, and see you very soon.